Thank you, DTM SIS, for this wonderful introduction, and I welcome all our audience today. In fact, during the past years, so many years in Toastmasters, I had an opportunity to attend numerous number of meetings in different clubs, not only in Saudi Arabia itself, but also in other countries around the Middle East. In fact, this experience gave me a great opportunity to meet a large number of Toastmasters. Their reactions, in fact, differed from one to another, but people started to comment on the Toastmasters quality. Some of them were very much satisfied. Some of them felt that the quality has been reduced a little, and even some said that it's very poor, and that's why they did not continue their membership in Toastmasters. These comments, in fact, have triggered me to find out from experienced people what is their opinion about that. Today, I have 3 members. They came from different walks of life. They came from different backgrounds, and let's share with them, or let them share with us rather, their experience and what do they think about the quality of Toastmasters, either in the club meetings, membership, projects, evaluation, mentorship, everything related to Toastmasters organization. And today, let me just check if all the 3 moderator panel members are here. I can see one. I think others, they might have some technical problem. Right, let me just start introducing the first who's still available here today, right? And the first panelist we have today is a heavyweight champion. Everybody knows him for his humorous nature, but however, he is a civil engineer by profession, and he has played different roles of Toastmasters at club level and even area level, division level, and he has been project manager for so long. What I like about this guy, or this gentleman rather, is that he is, although he's humorous, he's very serious when he was giving an opinion. He has been a judge or chief judge for so many years in Toastmasters, and really I trust very much his opinions. Let me, and join me to help to welcome the first panel member, DTM Muhammad Mubin.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Now, we are waiting for another 2 guests. They are not yet here, but let me, I think they are, I hope they don't, because they are far away from Saudi Arabia. I think I don't see the other members.
DTM Mufid,
Yes.
they are not in the meeting.
They are
You
not
may
in the
proceed.
room yet. They are not in the room.
Yeah.
Right. We will start, and I mean, if they arrive a little late, then we can, I mean, continue the meeting with them. Let me start with our only guest today, as of now, Muhammad Mubin. Mr. Mubin, from your experience, what is the most important lesson you learned about the club quality or the quality of club meetings? Mr. Mubin.
Thank you, DTM Mufid. It's been an honor for me. It's an honor for me to be in the panel of this very important discussion, Quality Matters. See, sometimes the environment in which you grow, the environment, take for example, the club which you join, which has certain basic rules or some, we can say, customs, some traditions. So normally we get used to that. We get used to that and we try to follow those wherever we go, whichever club we join, we try to implement all those things. So in my case, as you asked, but I have joined a club which is one of the oldest in the kingdom. In fact, I was told that it's the second oldest in the entire Gulf region. That is Riyadh Toastmasters Club. And let me share you one thing. I don't know whether our co-panelists joined or not. One of the co-panelists, DTM Rajendra Verma, he was the president when I joined Riyadh Toastmasters Club. So I have many friends in Toastmasters at that time, but many of them recommended to join so-and-so club. And they said many things about that club. And one of that which attracted me was that they maintain the quality. So it's natural for me that I should have something where I can learn. So like me, anybody who wants to join, a new member who wants to join, first thing he will do is he will attend different clubs. If he is very serious, normally he will attend 1 or 2 clubs or 3 clubs, then he will decide. On what basis they decide? Mufid, you are also a member of multiple clubs, but I remember you joined one club, you were a member already in one club and later you shifted to another club. Because there was some reason behind that. So similarly, what I learned is that if you maintain the quality, if you maintain that Toastmasters rules, and if you follow strictly the Toastmasters regulation without spoiling the entertainment part, you have the meetings need to be a little more entertaining. And, if you follow all these things, members will get attracted and there will be people who attend as guests. If they don't join also, if they want to recommend someone, they say, I had been to so-and-so club, their quality was good, the meetings were very entertaining and very good meetings. So I recommend you to join those clubs. So what I mean to say is that anybody who joins Toastmasters, they will look for quality first. Then the rest of the things will follow. Yeah.
DTM Mufid, your mic is muted.
Yeah, I muted. Sorry for that. DTM Mubin, thank you very much for this explanation and focus on the quality. And in fact, that takes me to open another question, which I wish if the audience can answer that, let's Mubin take an answer, a rest for a minute. You are all Toastmasters for long time maybe, but tell me, how do you believe, how do you think, in your opinion, the quality of the club meeting affects the membership force in the clubs? Anybody wants to answer this question, please raise your hand. Anybody wants to answer?
DTM Fatah wants to answer.
Toastmaster Fatah, no to judges. Yes. He's Toastmaster Fatah.
Toastmaster Fatah, thank you very much for coming to the meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
You have the question? Yeah,
yes,
please.
Thank you. I have the question. And from experience, what I have noticed is why the membership sometimes drops, because new members, and I've experienced this in Oasis, particularly from the local Saudi nationals, when they join, they have a particular reason, and most of them somehow they think they're going to learn English, something like this. So if we, particularly the ExCom members, okay, the PP education, whatever, if we don't sit with the member, assess what are his real needs, why did he want to join, and then we take that and incorporate it and put it to his mentor, because now mentoring has become just a name on a list and nothing else. That's what I have noticed. in very, very few cases where really mentors actually do follow up their mentees. They have a plan, they have a program, they sit down with them, they discuss with them, and they monitor the program. Now that's not happening. So there are two things. One, we don't know actually why that particular person joined. As far as we're concerned, it's an extra member, good for the DCP points, we got the money. That's what's happening at the moment. And two is not sitting down with a mentor and saying, hey, mentor, this guy has joined, this is his dream, this is his objective, this is why he has joined. And if that guy finds an ear, and then he finds that people are listening to him, that he is making progress, that the reason why he joined is actually start to achieve, okay, then we will maintain quality, then we will maintain members. But unfortunately, in this area, this has dropped. This is my personal opinion and based on experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fatah. In fact, you raised another point for discussion. That's a good one. In fact, I'll go back to Mubin. Mubin, Fatah has mentioned the mentorship relationship. From your experience for the last 16, 17 years in Toastmasters, what do you think of mentorship quality as when you joined and today?
Before I answer your question, I just like to add what DTM Fatah has said. That he said, we are not knowing what the members want. You know, for that, we used to conduct, and many clubs still doing that. I'm not saying the club stopped doing it. That in the start of the XCOM year, like these days, we have to do a membership interest survey. I don't know how many clubs are doing that. So that really gives the answer to what Fatah has said, that as long as you know the members' interest, you cannot plan you can plan actually. If you know the interest of the members, you can plan the meetings accordingly, and you can do. Plus, you will know what member exactly need. That will help in assigning the mentor to match his requirements. So sometimes we just say, okay, he has less number of mentees. Let us give this man to this man, and he will mentor him. No. So the mentee and mentor should match. See, when you go into the details, the Toastmasters prescribed details, there are many things they mention that, you know, even the distance between their residencies also matters. Sometimes they say, you know, he should be easily accessible to the mentee. Mentor should be easily accessible. Like this, there are many things. There should be a perfect match between mentor and mentee. That will happen only if you conduct the members' interest survey and you find someone who has similar interest and who has similar requirements and who went through all those things which the new member needs. Then the mentee-mentor relationship is something which will take both of them to the next level.
Thank you very much, Mubin. In fact, while you were speaking, in fact, you've answered it very well. While you were speaking, the second panel member has just joined us. So please help me welcome the second one. I would say she was a past district director, and she's known in the Toastmasters as a mentor of members, clubs, even mentors themselves. She chartered more than one club in different districts, and she's a trainer by profession. She loves the public relations in particular, and a very lovely person. Please help me welcome Michelle Albabin to the meeting. Michelle Albabin, please join us.
Thank you so much, Mufid.
Michelle, we've just started. We thought that technical problems might have happened, but however, we started our session without you. So we'll jump to the questions. Can you do that?
Absolutely.
We were talking about the quality of club meetings and how that affects the membership in the club. What do you think? Do you think that the quality of speeches does affect membership in clubs directly? What do you think?
Yes, I would say it definitely affects the membership. Now, it's not just the speeches themselves, but the quality of the meeting programming. And I have a perfect example in a club called Roseburg Speakers and Storytellers, which was down to 3 members a year and a half ago. And then we somehow managed to get an infusion of good speakers who helped us, and of course invited guests. And when the guests came and they saw that the meetings were really well organized and the speakers were very well prepared, even the timer was prepared with what to say, every role was well prepared. We didn't even have to ask them. They were saying, how can I join? How can I join? And this is our 2nd year now of being President's Distinguished 10 over 10. And we are over 20 and more are wanting to come in. So I'm so determined and so confident to say that the meeting, the quality of the meeting, the speeches and all the role players prepared definitely affects the members and the guests, of course. Back to you, Mufid.
Thank you very much, Michelle. I mean, you just jumped into the screen and you were ready for the answer. That was great. Thank you very much. In fact, my other question, I would say, now, we know that the member is the core of Toastmasters International. In fact, that was the target of Dr. Smedley when he started this organization. And so it is the core of the Toastmasters. In your opinion, how does the quality of a meeting would impact the club members to maintain their membership? We have seen how we have got new members into the club, but to maintain the membership, I would say, shall I ask Fattah once again?
Sorry, I'm sorry, I missed. Can you repeat that question again?
Right.
Sorry.
I would say, what I said is members, a member, individual member, is the core value of the Toastmaster. Because that's why Dr. Smedley, in fact, started this. He was not thinking of an organization as much as of building a new, good communicator. So the member is the core. Now, you spoke, or I think Michelle has spoken about how she could get new members into the club because they demonstrated and they have seen good club meetings. As a member, as an existing member, how does this club quality meetings do convince you to maintain and continue your membership?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. As they both said, the quality of the meeting itself and going through the agenda, and particularly, I emphasize on actually the roles and speakers. You know, I've seen some speakers, they come and they're not properly mentored, and then the speeches are so poor. It's important, and I've never seen an evaluator say, or an ex or VPE said, "I'm sorry, you have to repeat it again," or they let it go because it's another speech done and an extra point. No, we should be strict. Say, sorry, your speech no. Talk to his mentor so that he can work with his mentor and he come back again to deliver a quality speech. This is number one. And number two, in my opinion, the area directors, they have to play a role. You know, an area director just to get a post so that you can become a DTM. No, you should have a checklist and ensure, did this club, are they doing the mentoring properly? And mark. If not, meet with the ExCom, meet with the president, meet with the BPE, and make sure they do. You know, so we have to take our roles and responsibilities to ensure quality. There should be criteria, should be checklist, and the division director checks the area director. You know, and that's how it works. It's not a post. It's responsibility. Leadership is a responsibility and not a post. That's all I have.
Thank you, Fattah. Thank you very much, really. I'll go with my next question to Mobeen. As far as your experiences, can you tell me, or just briefly tell me, what qualifies as a quality club meeting? How do you know that this club meeting is quality good or not so good?
See, first of all, as my co-panelist Michelle said, that she gave For example, that there is a club which had only 3 members, then through club improving the club quality only, they could get another 20, and they were 10 out of 10 this year. Means you have to design your programs in such a way that they are very informative, entertaining, and without compromising the core values of the Toastmasters. Because sometimes what happens in making the programs interesting and entertaining, we compromise with the core values of Toastmasters. So I personally feel that if you want to have a quality club, it should have all the 3 elements: the core values and entertaining programs and informative programs, plus good mentee-mentor relationship. And I would just like to add, DTM Fatah, he's giving me a lot of leads in this discussion. That he said about the area governor. I really, this area governor post is the most important. He is the link between the club and the district. No other division director has no direct link with the club and the district. Area director has to visit the club twice in his tenure and make a report. The report will go to how many people? It goes to everyone, related to that quality, and even it goes to international also. So what is that the area director should not only just check that they have good members, they have 4 DCP points, they need another 1 DCP point. No, whether the quality is good or not. So this quality will come only if you design the programs which attract members, not just attract, but make them learn and make them better communicators and leaders. So if a person, if a member club, within couple of months or couple of weeks, he feels some change in him, means that club is doing good.
Thank you very much, DTM Mubin. Thank you very much for this clarification. I'll go now back to Michelle. Michelle, somebody commented that the quality of projects, the quality of speeches have deteriorated during the past few years. First of all, do you agree with such a statement?
That is a difficult question because it requires a lot of introspection and soul searching. So I would say I have seen the quality of some people's speeches deteriorate, but on the other hand, I have also seen some Toastmasters improve themselves tremendously. Obviously, no names on my examples of deteriorating quality, but I have seen, for example, and you know her, Julie Kurtesh. She is 86 or 85 years old. What she has done with Pathways is to take the path and work on every single project, including all the electives, and challenge herself and go out of her comfort zone. So I would think, yes, maybe Pathways has created a bit of more of an opportunity maybe for people to just go fast, as our other panelists have said, just to check the boxes. But I've also seen people who have really risen. And so you might say it depends on the individual, but also on the club officers, the president, especially the vice president for education, the vice president for membership, who gives a very good orientation when new members join. So it all depends on us. The onus of responsibility is on us. We cannot blame Toastmasters International for changing from the traditional to Pathways. Although I have heard so many people blaming, like, oh, now the speeches are just check, check, check. It is up to us. And thank you, Mufid, for organizing this panel, because in our own small way, we can share the message that, no, there might be more electives, more whatever in Pathways, but we can still maintain the standard of speeches. Back to you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Great. Thank you very much. Mubin, during the past years, we worked together for some time, and we had such discussions before, but for the audience benefit, Now, we have seen people, or members, let's say, with all respect to everyone, hurrying up to finish the number of projects without focusing on the objectives, on the competencies. Just, I want to reach at that time the advanced or level 1, level 2, level 3, level 5. I'm in a hurry to get my DTM, blah, 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 blah. How do you comment on that?
Recently, I have attended about a couple of months back, I attended a club meeting. And one of the member was saying that with one script, he can complete one path. Just with one script. He said, with the same script, I can deliver it in different, I can fit that in different objectives. He don't want to write a second speech. With one speech, he want to deliver as an icebreaker also, maybe later as whatever the part demands. So if this is the attitude of a member, who should guide him? His mentor. His mentor should tell him, see, even though there is no rule that you cannot use for another one, but will that help you in growing? Will that, why you join the Toastmasters? To improve your, as a community, you want to become a good communicator and you want to improve your leadership qualities. But if you take the shortcuts, what are you going to gain? Except those, level 1, level 2, these. So what you need to do is, the VP education should sit with the mentors. If some member has that attitude, and we cannot, tell this in a very harsh way, that will, the member may feel bad and he may even leave the club. So what you have to do is, as a VP education, you have to take that member and his mentor and counsel them and tell them, see, yes, of course you can do that. See, Toastmasters International is not going to cross-check whether you have completed the project or not. Sometimes if your VP education is your friend, he can just write things for you. So what is that? So who is at loss? You are the one who is going to lose. So in my opinion, the VP education and the mentors should guide the members if they want to have some shortcuts. And at the same time, I don't know how to represent to the Toastmasters International, because they have created certain shortcuts for some things recently, which people are using that.
Thank you, Mubin. Although later I will, please, audience, please allow me to introduce to you the third member of the panel. And he is a master degree of finance. He is an auditor by profession. He is a freelance now because he already retired from after long years of banking. He has been in Toastmasters for the last 21, 22 years, and he has been a mentor for so many, including myself. A member I really respect, and I will always refer to him if I have a problem. I think let's welcome for a minute DTM Rajendra Varma. Rajendra, please.
Thank you very much, Mufid, and my sincere apologies for being a little late. I am really sorry about that.
Thank you very much, Rajendra. I mean, we appreciate there could be some circumstances, but being my mentor, I cannot blame you. You must be mentoring somebody else outside somewhere. However, in fact, we've been talking with the other two panelists and a guest who I respect about the quality of club meetings, quality of the projects being presented, and all these things. But I'll ask you a unique question. Being a judge and chief judge for a long time, for many years, how do you qualify the quality of the speeches presented for contests?
You asked me a very, very relevant question. And let me answer it in two phases. One is, in general, yes, the quality of the speeches have gone up. There's no doubt about it. In terms of English, in terms of preparation, in terms of theme, because today there is so much of focus on winning a speech contest. There are so many mentors, there are so many educational sessions. So many people give educational sessions on how to prepare a speech, how to win a contest, and things like that. This is on one side. But the other side, which I feel could be better, is that these speeches are becoming very, should I say, mundane, very boring, in the sense that everybody is following that beaten track. We need to shout, we need to have emotion, we need to sing, we need to dance, we need to go from left side to the right side of the stage. Unless we do this, the judges won't see that we are showing all our skills, and as a result give us a lot of marks, and as a result we win the contest. This, I believe, is the sad part of the contest and sad part of the speech. I hope it satisfies you.
Thank you very much, Varma. In fact, that was really direct to the point. Thank you very much. And I think we have taken a long time now. Let's take some questions, and I will direct the question to, the first question we have is, it says, apart from the integrity, how can the VP Education and Assistant Director Program Quality ensure that the project was completed successfully as per requirement of the manual? Can this be enforced for the said officers to scrutinize and validate the project completion? Allow me to give this to Rajendra Verma.
Thank you again, Mufid. Very happy to take that question. Again, to answer this, I will go to the pre and the post era. During our times, because I'm a Toastmaster for 20 years, thank you for introducing me that way. At that point in time, we used to be physical meetings, and when we used to give projects in different clubs. I myself remember I gave projects in Riyadh Toastmaster Club as a guest, though I was a member of Oasis Toastmaster Club in Dammam. But what was the requirement was that manual had to be signed by the VP Education of the club where I am giving the speech. So I still remember getting the signatures, at least of 3 of my projects out of the first 10, which I did outside my home club. And I have their signatures. I still share that book with me, keep it very safely. Meaning, there used to be a validation process in place. And this is nothing new which Riyadh Toastmaster introduced. This is the TMI norm. But today, if you see in pathways, people are just going on completing the projects. It is so very sad to state that proper evaluations are not given. I have seen so many clubs where nobody is giving evaluations. They just give an oral evaluation for 3 minutes and they feel their job is done. I myself gave a speech here, and just for your information, I'm sitting in Detroit right now, States, and I gave a speech last week to one of the clubs here. Can you believe me? This is the core of United States, where I thought the TMI movement should be the best. Even my project objectives were not described. And nobody bothered to take my objectives, fill up those forms, and tell me how did I do on my speech. At least this is happening in my home club in Muscat. At least because I'm the mentor of it, I'm trying to these procedures and ensure that everybody do their project as per the objectives, get the maximum benefit out of it. But unfortunately, in our quest to have more and more educational awards, more and more accolades, I think these things are getting compromised.
Thank you very much, Varma. A great reply, in fact. I have another question here. It has been asked so many times, but let me do it again. It says, do you consider a club who achieved DCP is quality club? Michelle, can you answer this one?
Yes, thank you. That is that question. You're right. It has been asked oftentimes, and it is not 100% assurance that if a club achieves DCP, it is a quality club. It is one of the indicators. For example, if for you to achieve the 4 new members and 4 more new members, if you have achieved that, for example, that would mean you're recruiting members, you're attracting members to your club. Why are they joining? Unless there is an integrity issue, and I think all of us in this panel know that there are some people who lack integrity. That's why integrity is the most important core value, wherein you just have paper members, and that is so difficult. But if it's real new members joining, why are these new members joining? Most likely because they see the quality in the club meetings. It is, like I said, generally an indicator. Sad to say, and a warning or a caution for everyone. There are some clubs that achieve distinguished club that really just work the numbers. You know, for example, they were down at 7. And then if they added 5, then they're already qualified to meet the minimum requirement. But really, is it quality? Yes and no. So bottom line, I would summarize, yes, it is an indicator if a club becomes distinguished, that it is maybe having quality meetings, but not always. I would say moments of truth is even a better tool to use moments of truth to check how are we doing? How are we meeting the 6 categories of quality in Toastmasters meetings? That would really indicate that the club is meeting the quality standards if we do moments of truth. But that's another topic, maybe move it for another time. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Thank you. In fact, I have a long list of questions, and I think time will not allow us to do it all, but I'll ask one more question. And DTM Mubin, it says, after the basics of running a meeting smoothly, isn't the club quality at the end is subjective?
I think this question will, should go to my first president, under whose presidency I joined Toastmasters Club, Rajendra Verma Sahab. He can answer this betterly. But I would definitely want to hear Rajendra Verma more because he joined late. So I'll pass the question to Mr. Verma Sahab, if you allow me.
If Verma accepts it, it's up to him.
I have no problem at all. I will try to make amends to my joining late as much as possible. So, and Mubin, thank you very much for passing the question. But can you just repeat the question once again so I'm right on the point?
Shall I repeat
If the meeting runs smoothly at the end, can you read it correctly?
Right. It says, I passed through. After the basics of running a meeting smoothly, isn't a club quality subjective?
Objective.
Yani, if I understand it correct.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Now, normally they say when you want to, I mean, just as a comparison, if you want to give your daughter to another house for marriage, they say that first you should go and see how their kitchen is. To my knowledge, in Toastmasters Club, if you want to see how the quality is, you have to hear their evaluations. If there are going to be 3 speeches are not very important, but let us see what their evaluators talk. That, to my knowledge, is a barometer of how the quality can be measured. But at the end of it, every club is conducting meeting. Clubs are conducting 1-hour meeting with 3 speeches. There are clubs which do 2-hour meeting, but with 2 speeches. The quality comes from different things. Everybody completes the meeting, no doubt about it, because the PMI has given a very nice template, speeches, evaluation, table topics, round robin, and whatever else. But the real thing is, how do you measure this? And at the end, we are all humans, so it will remain subjective. Who is the one person?
Thank you.
You tell me the PMI international judgment which comes, who is the world champion, did it match with your judgment? Hand on your heart. Maybe or maybe not. So many times it didn't match my judgment. So should I say that the judges don't know how to judge at the TMI World Championship level? The point is, the norms can always be on the paper. How you perceive it is going to be totally different. So yes, that element of subjectivity will always remain. You can never remove it out. Even this subjectivity is different. Say in Oman, for example, it is quite different from what it is here in America. So I think we are all humans. We can't remove the subjectivity. Thank you, Mufid. And thanks, Mubin, for passing that question to me. I fondly remember, and I feel highly privileged that you have acknowledged me as your first president. I'm proud of a member like you, Mubin.
Thank you very much for both of you. And I think we still have some time. I want to ask, since Rajendra Varma has raised the point of evaluation, let me tickle Michelle for that. Michelle, how do you think that evaluation really affects the club quality meetings and speeches?
Thank you for giving me that question, because if you had given it to somebody else, I would be wanting to message you. Please ask me that question also. Yes, because that is a question very deep in my heart. When I first heard about Toastmasters in 1991, I was not interested because I was already a trainer back then. And they said it will help improve, increase your confidence in speaking. And I'm like, who cares? I'm not scared of speaking. I'm scared of everything else except speaking. And then I attended, after 5 years of avoiding Toastmasters, I attended in 96. And I heard the people speak. And then I heard this person stand up and comment about the speech. Like, wow, that is incredible. That was the reason I joined Toastmasters, evaluations. And so to this day, from 96 up to now, I always feel evaluations are the most important part of a Toastmasters meeting. It is the reason, I believe, that Toastmasters exists. Because to have fun, there are many social clubs. To give speeches, there are many public speaking clubs or organizations. But to hear evaluations, instant feedback, only Toastmasters gives that. And as you know, Mufid, because you're a member of Global Trainers Online, we have even expanded that. We offer 5 minutes of feedback per speaker. It is so important. If a club has the standard of just saying, oh, that was wonderful, so wonderful, great job, who cares? But when somebody stands up and says, you know, you did really good in that aspect. However, I would have liked to see this aspect. And, or for example, again, mentioning Julie, she will look at the objectives. Okay, it was a great speech, but did it meet the objectives? The objectives were different. So people are constantly challenged, and people will come to clubs that challenge them with good evaluations. So yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Evaluations would almost determine that earlier question you had about quality meetings. I think evaluations will really help to have quality meetings. And you can feel my passion, I think. Back to you, Mufid.
Thank you, Michelle. I got one more question, and who wants to answer that? Please raise your hand. It says, I'll give the question first, then raise your hand and see who answers that. It says, we talk about quality as if numbers do not really matter. But in TMI, they talk differently. If the club does not have a number of members specified, I think 12, the club needs coaching. And members of that club could be all DTMs. They all could be good speakers. But because the number is less than 12, you need a coach. How do you comment on that? Mubin, first raise hand. Yes, Mubin.
Without naming the club, I am a member of that club also. It is for the last 2-3 years, TMI and area governors recommended that it need to have a club coach. And there were number of aspirants for that. So many people said that we want to become and they send requests to area governor, and they call some of the members of the clubs, because that is one of the things required. If you are not becoming an area governor for your DTM, you can be a club coach. So people are trying to grab that opportunity, but whether they are doing justice to or not is the question. See, I'm without naming anybody, I personally face this in that being a member of that club, that they come, they don't attend any meeting, they bring some dual members, make it 20. And some of the projects which were delivered in some other clubs are the leadership points, they will transfer it here and make it a distinguished club, thus claiming the club coach award. So here, I would like to request Toast TMI that this club coach thing need to be scrutinized. It need to be validated by someone, whether that rule was done correctly or not. So I think there lot of people, of course, some people did excellent job. Some people, took the club, as our co-panelist Michelle said, that from 3 members to 20 members, and it 10 out of 10. So that is something, different. But many people, many are just targeting about their credit for the club coach so that they can complete their, achievement. So as long as if you take up a role seriously, then I think the clubs will. And one more thing I just like to add, because Rajendra Verma Sahib is here, a lot of memories are cropping up, regarding the evaluations, we used to have a form, we used to have the best evaluator, best under in the bottom of that, we used to have evaluation, giving every member a chance to write something for the speaker. So every member used to write where you did good and where you need some improvement. And I still have all those sheets, stapled in my manual, because not only just in those days, just only one speaker, one evaluator. In advanced club, we are having multiple evaluators, but at that time you have one main evaluator, and almost all the members of the club used to give their written evaluation in a small sheet, and we used to attach that, and we used to keep as a memory, as a souvenir in our manuals. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, DTM Mobeen. Thank you very much, really. In fact, this was very rich. In fact, we still have that in the chat box. I'm still writing privately to the members, whatever they say. And if it's not written by anybody. Anyway, thank you very much, really. I think we have time to take one more question. Anybody from the audience, please raise your hand. If there is a question. A question? Nobody? Right. Well,
we have a question from Toastmaster Zahra.
Zahra? Zahra? Are you there?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Can you please put your question to the audience?
Yes, I was saying, seeing the importance of the evaluations in speeches, how it's important for the quality of the club. Is it possible to set a mechanism to have evaluations for communication and leadership skills? Because Toastmasters is not just for public speaking. It also enhances our communication and leadership skills, but there are no evaluations for that. How do we know that we're growing in that field instead of just practicing the same old patterns we have?
Right. Anybody wants to answer that? Michelle,
okay.
or
thank you. Let me do that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zahra, for that question. And yes, let me answer it in 2 phases. For speech projects, there are specific speech evaluators. So let's not put time on that. As far as the project objectives are shared with the evaluator beforehand, and the project objectives are shared in the meeting before the speech, I think that's a very fair thing to do. The other things, now there are 2 aspects to it. Whatever else happens in the meeting is covered by the general evaluator. So if you see, you talk of how the meeting started, whether it started on time, and how other role players did. I think if a general evaluator does the role very well, he covers everything right from the start of the meeting until the time he is speaking. And there is one more segment which I would like to highlight here, which is table topics. Now, in some clubs, it used to be in my Riyadh Toastmasters Club and others, where we even evaluate the table topics. So for example, if there are 5 table topic or 6 table topic speakers, we used to evaluate even the table topic speakers. So that also used to become one evaluator. And in fact, we used to have some very good grammarians that we used to even have our counter grammarians as one of the evaluators and also have them as eligible for an award. As a result, what happens, you get so much of feedback, and then the general evaluator from a macro level evaluates the whole meeting put together. To my knowledge, not a single role will be left out of these gamut of things. So everybody gets evaluated, whether you are a TMOD, even your presidential remarks, even how the sergeant at arms starts with energy, that also is evaluated. So to my knowledge, this is the best way to evaluate the whole meeting so that everybody feels that they have received some input on the role that they have performed. Anyone else wants to add anything? Fine. Thanks, Mufid.
Thank you, Varma. Thank you very much, my mentor. In fact, I very much enjoyed this panel discussion since the beginning up to the end. And I hope that we've shed light on the importance of the quality. In fact, I believe that we can present 10 projects in one day, but without making any progress in improving our communication or leadership skills. So at the end, if I don't maintain quality, at the end, I'm the loser. Toastmaster will not lose anything. The club will not lose anything. The loser will be the member himself. I would wish really to thank, although we have officially announced 3 panelists, there were 4 panelists really. We had our friend Abdul Fattah, who
Toastmaster Mufid.
joined. Yes.
Toastmaster Mufid, there are some few questions. Can we take them? They raise their hand.
Do we have time?
We can extend. If they are willing to stay, we can extend the time until we answer the questions.
Right.
Yes.
We'll be happy to take the questions. No problem.
Mufid, could I just answer very briefly that lady who asked a question about evaluating leadership skills?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. We have projects in Pathways. One of the projects is leading in a volunteer organization. There are several others, but just to illustrate that, because of the title, Leading in a Volunteer Organization, it is an excellent project, and the person doing it can get 360-degree evaluations from his teammates. So it is a real practical application of leadership. So I actually think that Pathways has improved on the leadership side of the evaluation. Back to you, Mufid.
Thank you very much, Michelle. I see Fatah has raised his hand. Is that right?
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Since we're talking about quality, because that's really what we're focusing on at the moment, quality, and that we know the elements of quality includes a lot, leadership skills, the quality of the process itself, and then the management of relationship and what have you. My question is, and I would like the answer to be either yes or no, because I think it's simple. Do we consider that transparency is part of quality, yes or no? Is transparency part of quality, yes or no? That's all.
Yes.
Thank
you. You have one yes, Mubin, another yes, Michelle, another yes. So you have 3 yeses, sir.
Good, thank you. That's good enough.
Anybody, Mubin, do you have a question?
Yeah. No,
Right. So he's withdrawing. Fine, fantastic. Any other questions on the?
No. My mistake. It was okay.
So right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Right. Once again, I enjoyed this meeting. I enjoyed having 4 panelists instead of 3 as announced, and I hope that I know that this topic will take more than this 1-hour discussion. It's a question that will never be answered fully because, as somebody said, it's subjective. But I still really believe that as a Toastmaster, I would aim to quality before quantity, whatever happens, and I will maintain that. I would thank everyone in this meeting for attending and for participation in this discussion. Hopefully, we have taken something good and back to the DTM SES. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, DTM Mufid. It was really a great panel discussions, and I totally agree with everyone that quality matters. Even though that we only have few members in our club, it doesn't matter because quality really matters. No matter how the Toastmasters International set up these rules regarding club coaching, it matters for us the quality. I found that those seasoned Toastmasters, we are the one who are really expert when it comes to quality club, and we give advices to our members, to our new members. So I think from the beginning that this member signed their membership form, it really matters for them to know, the club. I think the orientation itself will help them to understand, because there's a lot, based on my experience, there's a lot of members that they are expecting, like, for example, they will change their grammar, they will change their accent when they join Toastmasters. And we always ask them that this is not the way Toastmasters will help you. Yes, it builds confidence, like what DTM Michelle mentioned, that confidence is there already. Even when I started in Toastmasters, I feel that I don't need a Toastmasters because I'm a theater actress. But later on, you will discover something with the program of Toastmasters that will help you also to reach out to other people who are aspiring to be a leader, a public speaker, a coach, or whatever. So, my dear friends, fellow Toastmasters and leaders, these such panel discussions, really, it's a great opportunity to hear our panelists, our audience regarding this quality. Because every now and then, quality matters. Whether it's in Toastmasters, in our life, in our career, quality matters. So it was really a good discussions. Thank you, DTM Mufid, for leading these panel discussions. And to our panelists, they are all experts. And having DTM Fatah, who is also a member of different clubs, but he enjoyed being there. I remember a few months ago when he asked me to be a club coach of one of the clubs in District 79. But for him, it doesn't matter if this club will achieve DCP or not. But what matters is to bring the best quality in this club. Because in my experience also, if you visit some of the clubs in our district, they need support. They really need support. It doesn't really matter about the numbers, but what really matters is help them. How are they going to run the meeting, the regular meeting of their club? Even take some simple role, timer, a counter, it matters to them because you are helping them to grow, also to learn. And being a seasoned Toastmasters, we have some techniques in getting those roles as we go along. So I really love these panel discussions, and I enjoyed those questions that our audience was given to our panelists. So thank you so much. And if we have anything to add, our project manager or the one in charge for our E3 project, DTM Summer, if you have anything to say to our panel discussions, our panelists, our audience. DTM Summer, do you have anything?
Thank you so much. Actually, I will repeat my gratitude and thanks to Toastmaster Mufid and all the great and experienced Toastmasters that we learned from them what is Toastmasters and what is really how to be a good Toastmaster member and a good communicator and leader. It was my honor actually to host them this evening to this panel discussion and to discuss this very hot topic in Toastmaster program, especially after Pathways and the ease that it provided the people. Plus that we noticed within the people themselves that they are aspiring to reach for the DTM award in the fastest track possible, not considering the quality of the projects and the speeches that they are giving, some of the members. But in this discussion, actually, we tackled this point, and hopefully it will reach to the people, it will reach to all the members worldwide that quality first, quality matters before anything else. Thanks for everyone for attending this webinar or this panel discussion. This is part of E3 project, and you will find the record hopefully in the YouTube. I will share it through my Facebook page and also through WhatsApp. So please let's connect so we can share the recording with you.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you, Mufid. Thank you, Verma Saab.
Thank you very much, Mubin, and nice to establish touch. Thank you, Fateh. Nice to see you here. Mufid, thank you for making me one of the panelists. Pleasure to get in touch with old friends once again.
Sis and Samer, really it's an honor for me because, you know, I joined Toastmasters when Rajendra Verma sir was the president, and I used to think that I should speak and talk like Verma Saab. And today I am sharing a stage with him. I am a co-panelist. It's really an honor for me. Thank you, Verma Saab. I have learned a lot from you, and keep inspiring us.
Thank you very much, Mubin. Same sentiments here. Absolutely reminded me of those old days, the wonderful days that we spent together. And best of luck to you also. We keep learning. See, the person is new or old only for the first 1 or 2 years. After that, you see, everybody keeps learning and everybody keeps contributing. So it's the perspectives that matter. So it was my pleasure to share the stage with you. And thank you very much, even Michelle. I don't know if she's there in the meeting, but thanks, Mufid, for getting all of us together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye, all of you. Thank you.